Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Talk That Tech. The
Number one tech morning show in the world. Good morning.
Good morning, and we are back for another round of this. Missed you guys. Want to say first of all, thank you to Tech Coach Ralph for stepping in with Tech Back Trey while I was MIA. I was literally off doing work at another time zone, so I couldn't participate. But I am back, and so I'm glad to be rocking with you guys again. Just
Welcome
wanted to
back.
say first and foremost, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me back. First and foremost, but like usual, just want to let you know we want to just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. I did drop that link here, so if you want to call into the show, we got that QR code in the top left for you to click on to call into the show. Let us know your thoughts, and we definitely want to share a few things with you. We got a couple of events, things to talk about that did pop up, and we're going to talk about some other stuff that happened over the weekend. So lock in with us. Definitely stay connected. We got Evacuous. Hi, good morning. Good morning. So glad you rocked with us. Glad you're with us. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, they testing you this morning.
I know. So I'm going to share. I can share the other one. I do not know that person. If you want to know what they're talking about, go in the comment section. But yes, let's dive in to the conversation at hand, and then we'll definitely talk about a few more things later
I
on.
wish
But
I
yeah,
knew him. I
I know,
wish I knew
right?
him, man.
We have a different show, for sure. But yeah, with that being said, there's so much topics we're going to cover today, but this one is the first one that was going on for quite some time, a couple of years actually. I think we even mentioned it before, but now it has hit its. It is finalized the situation. So I'm going to pass over to Trey to tell you more, and then we're going to dive into it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So Google, they just lost one of the biggest antitrust cases in history. So not just their history, in history in general. And so this was actually on July the 2nd, just a few days ago, after fighting Europe for 8 years. Okay. The company, the company's 4.1 billion euro fine, and that's right around 4.7 USD, um, fine is now permanent. And so the money matters here. Okay. So the president matters even more. Now, Europe's highest court, they dismissed Google's final appeal, which means that the $4.1 billion or billion euro fine, Android fine, is final. Now, Google, they have no more remaining appeals. Okay. So the ruling officially confirms Google abused its dominant market position. Now, the case began back in 2018, and the European Commission, they argued Google required smartphone manufacturers to pre-install Google Search and Chrome if they wanted access to the Google Play Store. All right, so this is a stick up. we we gonna hold you hostage. You gotta use Google Search and Chrome as the pre-installed search. Now, the commission also found that Google paid some manufacturers to install Google Search exclusively. This is all you get, making it much harder for competitors to reach consumers. Now, Google changed a lot of those business practices years ago, but guess what? How many of y'all know sometimes you plant the seeds, they still got to come up, man. They still got to come up. And the financial penalties still applied to the conduct that occurred before those changes. Now, here's why it matters. Android powers billions of smartphones around the world. So, you might have your special iPhone 17. You might got the 18 already. I don't know. But most people have Android. So Google, they weren't really competing for users. The company controlled the gateway to mobile software in general. And Europe concluded that control gave Google that unfair advantage. So this ruling, it really reinforces one of the biggest themes in technology today. The platform owners create enormous power, and governments around the world are becoming more willing to challenge that power. They're like, look, man, no one company should have all that power. That's what they're saying. Now, the 4.1 euro billion euro fine may not be the biggest financial consequence for them, though. So the ruling now becomes binding proof that Google violated European competition laws, which also gives competitors a much stronger foundation to pursue civil lawsuits across Europe. Woo-hoo-hoo. So the fine has a ceiling, the private lawsuits does not. Now, the long-term financial exposure could ultimately exceed the original penalty in the end. So, y'all, the civil penalties could be larger than the 4.1 billion euro penalty. So anyway, the bigger picture here, y'all, Google has now accumulated roughly 11 billion euros in European antitrust fines across multiple cases. Those include Google Shopping, Android, digital advertising. So at the same time, European regulators continue investigating Google under the Digital Markets Act. An additional enforcement actions could arrive later this year. The regulatory pressure is getting larger and faster instead of slowing down. So I don't know. At Here's what y'all probably gonna see. Like most headlines, they're gonna focus on whether Google won or lost, right? But the bigger question here is whether $1 billion fines actually change corporate behavior. Okay, so Google, they did modify a lot of the Android licensing agreements years ago, like I mentioned, but the company adopted long before the final appeal ended. So here's the most important question then. Are antitrust fines changing future business strategy, or are they simply changing companies for decisions they've already moved beyond? I don't know. Here's what I do know. Obviously, if they wouldn't have got that charge, they would not have changed anything. But also, hey man, sometimes these companies decide to, hey, we're just gonna do it and get all this money until we can't do it anymore. And then we'll pay the little fine. Cause I mean, let's just be honest, 4.1 billion. I mean, that's a lot. But for Google, you know, they've been doing billions for a whole lot of years. Just saying. So they're willing to take the chance. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they should have just got out of it a long time ago. Like, hey, you got away with it for a few years, dip on out and bow out gracefully. But no, you got to get greedy with it. And then sometimes you get hit with the penalty. The question is, do they care? I don't know. Anyways, if you work in Android development, mobile applications, search, digital advertisement, product management, even competition law, this case, it for sure does matter. The platform companies, they're going to continue adjusting how products are bundled, distributed, and monetized. And then the competition policy is becoming part of product strategy at the end of the day. So, anyways, y'all, lastly here, Google, they did lose this 8-year battle. Europe strengthened its ability to regulate the dominant technology platforms, and then competitors gained a stronger legal path to try and seek damages, which that some people are. They definitely are. So we'll see. This ended, but there's still more consequences to come, and they're still going to come out. So I don't know. Do y'all think 4.1 billion euro fine it actually changed how a company like Google's size operates? I mean, it kind of did, but did it really? Also, do you think that was enough money? Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section for sure. We got our cute saying that, hey, listen, did Google lose money? That is true. They did lose money in the grand scheme. Alfie said no.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's going to
Some
change
people
their
said
business
yes.
processes. Some people said yes here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to really change the way they function. I mean, for one, it does definitely change some things. I mean, it took 8 years for it to get to this point. So in that time, we know that they accumulated billions of dollars. So for
Okay.
them, go ahead.
Real quick, just to put it in perspective on why some people say no and why some people say yes. on did Google lose money? The parent company of Google, Alphabet, they reported $402 billion in total revenue in 2025.
1 year alone.
Chicken feed, okay? 4 billion chicken feed,
Yeah.
okay?
So definitely uh slap on the wrist in a way, if you consider the how big of a company it is. But once these things do come into effect and they get these fines, they probably will change a couple of things here and there, but overall it doesn't affect them. It's like, it's like literally like when they say ask for permission later. It's one of those situations, right? Where it's like, listen, we did what we did. We got our fine, so now we could adjust it accordingly. But in the heat of the moment, it's like, yeah, all
Ooh,
right, we
ooh,
got it. We learned our lesson. Now, would I think that they'll still not be in compliance after this? I'm not too sure because who knows? Maybe be a higher penalty. But it definitely opens up the conversation for other people who, I mean, first of all, just to put it clear, the average person cannot go toe to toe with Google for that long.
no,
Google will definitely
crazy.
beat you at a price at home. They're gonna be like, oh, you want to go? You want to have a battle with us? Oh, we could bring it out because 8 years is a long time, and you paying a lawyer and retaining it for whatever situation, it ain't gonna happen, right? So let's just throw that out there. The average Joe, no pun intended, cannot be in court with them for that long. However, it definitely shows that they're not untouchable. It's just a slap on the wrist when you put it in comparison to how much they make per year. It really is.
100%.
Yeah. But this has been going on for a while. I mean, we touched on this, I think, even last year, if I'm not mistaken. This particular story, this antitrust story, you know, and it's crazy because we were all like initially saying, like, you remember what we talked about how, like, listen, if Google search is better, what why are they gonna get penalized for that? When you think about web search, what's the number one thing? It's like I'll give an example of this. Like in South America, where country where my family's from, they're from a country called Guyana, and they don't say toothpaste, they say Colgate, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
Colgate is synonymous with toothpaste over there. Most people don't say I'm gonna go to a search engine. They say I'm gonna Google this. So it's become synonymous. Is that something that should be penalized for? I don't think. But obviously it goes deeper than that. But that's just something that I've we talked about before, where we're just like,
Yeah.
listen, if it's a product that's superior, people use Safari to download Chrome. We use that joke before too. Like like literally, it's not that. I mean, let's know in the comment section if you use another web browser, if you use something else to search online, if you're using agentic web browsers, things of that nature, cool. But I know for the longest time, searching online was synonymous with Google Chrome. Well, Google,
Yeah, I
Google
mean,
period, and then Google
Google in
Chrome.
general.
Yeah, and then Chrome was just there, like, yo, this is actually superior in a lot of different ways, and the web browser of choice. So
I got an iPhone. I use, I got an iPhone. When I get the new joint, I switch it from Safari to Google Chrome. Um, right now I have Google and Opera on there. I switch
yeah,
between both of them. On my actual computer, I normally use Chrome, but I've been testing out all these different ones as well. So right now I'm on one called Zen, Zen. It's pretty
mhm,
fire. But yeah, for the most part, man, it's Google is what I use just because it's easy, simple, and it works.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Listen, y'all, just want to remind you that this is a call-in show. I forgot to say that as well if you're new to the channel. So you could call in, but you don't have to show your face. The link is also on the top left. The QR code is there, but if you want to click on the link, if that's easier for you, there's an option there in the chat as well. And we got Maya Yusuf. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
So glad that you can join us as well. Depending on the question, you can't ask it if it's about the topic. But that's the goal, is to kind of talk about tech news. So this is what the channel's about. So yeah, definitely let us know what your thoughts are in regards to the topic, or if you have something else that you want to share in regards to tech news, let us know in the comment section, or you can call in as well. You can call in as well. Yeah, but I don't. To answer the question about it being a deterrent, definitely not a deterrent. Definitely not a deterrent.
Right.
It's more like a, all right, fine. you know, but I mean, like, come on, like, how many people, like, right now I'm on Google Chrome. Unless there's something else that I could that is better for me, a better option, it's gonna be my default for a very long time.
I'm on Google Chrome as well. Also, by the way, look, man, they wrote that $4 billion check the same hour. Wired it over. It wasn't nothing, man. You know
Yeah,
how
but
you know
it's
how
like,
many
yo,
companies would have been scrambling.
yeah. They're like, I mean, they had 8 years to put aside money too, so like, okay, it's
Yeah.
like by year six, they probably were like, let's just make sure we
Matter,
have it
matter of
in the
fact, you know
pocket.
what they probably did? They put 3 billion in a in a growth account. So by the time it listen, man, they made money. Okay, they they wrote the check and then got money back. That's
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Oh man, that is funny. And see this comment here. I'm not going to go into it, but if, well, like you said earlier, if we needed Favre Jackson, it'll be a different situation. But yeah, so
oh
that's
for sure.
that is it for that. Listen, y'all, if you have anything else you want to share, go ahead and put in the chat. We'll shout you out at the end if it's comments that are kind of related to the show. If it's not, then we won't really kind of dive into it too much. But yeah, so in regards to another topic that we're gonna hit it real quick. But before we do, how was your weekend, man? How was your weekend?
Weekend was really good. And I say that just because it was, but not really. Not a lot of stuff happened, man. I went to my parents' house on July the 4th, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We had grilled out, had a good old time, had some good food. Saw my brothers and sisters, and yeah, just had a good time, man. Friday, I feel like I did something, but I can't remember. Sunday was just a good old cool Sunday. Went to church, came back, had a good old nap, and then went in, man. That's it. Went in,
Yeah.
made some videos, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those are the best. Those Sunday naps, I tell you. I had that yesterday, and I woke up. I was like, "Oh, time to get to work, working
Yeah,
on the show." But
for sure.
I'm actually gonna go back a little bit because I haven't been here in a minute, um, and I definitely need to kind of catch everybody up. So I was on the
Yeah,
West Coast for work. There's a large event that we are part of called CCW, or Contact Center Week. About 5,000 so people were there. Shaq was like the keynote speaker and stuff. And so I was there on the West Coast in Vegas working that event. A cool thing is that my wife was able to come with me, which was dope. So we actually took
that's
a part
fine.
of it to just kind of check out different things. Went to Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. We went to a restaurant called Maroon, which is like a Caribbean bistro out there. If you haven't been there, check it out. Let me know if you are from Las Vegas in the chat. I definitely want to uh, hear where you, if you ever been in Vegas, put it down there. Let us know. All right, so put that in the chat. And so basically, it was cool, man. We went and we saw various different things. We saw like we saw the Spear Wizard of Oz show. That was dope. They had apples falling from the sky,
Oh
and
snap!
it was actually a little like faux apples, right? And I don't know the big deal about it. People were like, "Yeah, catch these apples," and da da da. And so I told my wife, like, "Bet you this apple is like $10 when you go down to if you want to buy it." And so we literally went down, and we literally went down, and she went to go find out the price, and lo and behold, like $10, just like small little apples. But anyway, it was dope, dope experience just to kind of be there for the first time and really kind of check it out. So if you are in Vegas, definitely check out the Spear for yourself. It's a great event, and we had a good time. We had a good time, and then we just came back. And if you ever travel between the coasts, I know you probably like, oh man, like your body is like trying to adjust to the time zone and stuff, but it was definitely good. I definitely appreciate it, and I definitely would recommend it for anybody else. Anybody else? So yeah. With that being said, let's jump into the next show, the next topic, I should say, and that is about Meta. Meta is building a cloud business and has just sent shockwaves through AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. All right, so we're going to jump right into this as well. So if you didn't know, Meta is developing plans for cloud infrastructure business that it will sell access to AI computing power models and setting up new competition with AWS, Microsoft, Azure, and Google Cloud. This came out actually earlier this week, and so basically Bloomberg broke down the story, and CNBC confirmed also the same thing that Meta's internal group, Meta Compute, is leading the effort by Santosh, John Daniel Gross in AI, and a few others in Meta, basically to sell access to AI models hosted on Meta's infrastructure or sell raw computing power to any buyer, right? And we're going to talk about this too, because another topic that's going to come right after this that would be very interesting to kind of tie into this. Meta will still get about 98% of its revenue from digital ads, and Zuckerberg has been trying to change his story. Cloud is his most ambitious move yet, like his focus. And if you know Meta, they talked about the VR glasses and other things as well, right? And so to see that them moving into this direction makes sense because of where everybody else is going. Mark Zuckerberg first talked about this in May, saying that cloud business was definitely on the table for them. And so for the winners of this are the people that invested in Meta or are investors in Meta. Stock went up by 9% on the news, so that's good for y'all. Businesses who want a fourth major cloud option now have that option before. And this is a big deal because if you only know about GCP or those other groups, AWS, Microsoft, right? Now you have that third option with Meta. And so there's a lot of companies that might be considering this for them, depending on the type of business they do. So AI startups who want to access Meta's Llama base can basically access it in a few. Now, the people that have unfortunately be affected by this is like CoreWeave, because their stock went down 12%. And then Nebulous down 12%, same thing. AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud now have a credible competitor in the space, and chip stocks as well. So there's a lot of people that were affected by this news, but it's very interesting. So here's a thought for you. Meta spent about $150 billion this year on AI infrastructure, and now says it's more, and now says it has more than it can use. Believe it or not, that's crazy. Great news, they overbuilt and now they can monetize it. The AI demand projections were wrong, so that's why they overshot, and the compute arms race by maybe hitting a wall right there. And so they basically are kind of, they admit they have an excess compute capacity, and right now they're trying to get people in on the deal. So it's very interesting to see what this means for you, though. If you are a developer or startup, a fourth cloud option means more competition, likely better pricing coming soon because, again, the access is there. And if you work in cloud sales, like at AWS, Azure, and GCP, your competitive landscape just got harder. That's just the facts. So if you invest in neo cloud companies like CoreWeave, reevaluate it, because when Meta, SpaceX, and Google all have excess compute to sell, the neo cloud moat shrinks, right? So if you invest in Meta, though, that is the differentiation story for Zuckerberg, has been promising. So watch your Q3 earnings. Like if you got money invested in them, it'll be very interesting to see. But this is a big deal, especially if you work in the tech industry. Again, what happens, and I'll tell you this a little bit too. So some companies, they buy this space, right? And in the part of their policies, a part of their contracts, they have to spend a certain amount of money when they have those available. So let's say that you're a company that's selling in the cloud and you're on a GCP, for example, Google Cloud, right? If you're on their marketplace, a company has to spend a certain amount per year, depending on how they're signed. And so if they are working, if you have a product that they're interested in and they have it, and you're on those marketplaces, and they have to spend that money, they'll look at you and say, you know what? Because I have to spend this money, I'm going to work with you because you're on the marketplace. So it really does open up the frontier for more people to get business done. And so it's very interesting to see. Very interested to see how things go. Let me. I put in the chat for you, advocates, but I'll pass it over to you, Trey, while I respond to them.
Yeah, bro. So I mean, when I saw this, for me, um, I really saw everybody there, or not even everybody, but some people will probably end up celebrating this, right? For Meta, like, oh yeah, they're entering the cloud space. This is a big deal, which it is. But at the end of the day, it also shows that, okay, Meta apparently appears to have enough computing capacity to sell some of it to other people. And so, yeah, it also creates two different things here. On the optimistic side, Meta, hey, they were building ahead of the demand, which, when you're a company of their size and you've been in the game as long as their parent company, then you can kind of foresee different things happening, and you got your ear to the street as well. But also on the other side, the industry may have overstimulated how much AI compute demand would exist right now, more near than farther. So for the last 3 years, if we've been paying attention, we've also been hearing we don't have enough GPUs. Like, that's what they say. And then now we have Meta, like one of the largest buyers in the space in the world, is talking about selling compute. So I don't know. It doesn't automatically mean that AI demand is slowing down, but yeah, I mean, markets change when scarcity becomes available. So like it like becomes an availability. So I don't know. It's interesting to say the least, but yeah, that stock went up. That we do know that stock went up.
Yeah, and I think everything is moving to the cloud. There's a lot of companies. I'm thinking in the realm of where I work. A lot of companies have moved from off-prem to cloud, so it's definitely there. But to have that computing that capacity, it's a big deal in the sense that companies now have options. They're not stuck with the three that they had before. There's a fourth big player in the space now. Time will tell because a lot of these enterprises move over to Meta. We'll see. They have more than they possibly could. Like they have an excess, which is great. But time will tell. We'll see how the infrastructure pans out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know in the comment section your thoughts on that. Definitely want to hear from you. Um, if you have not, though, I want to just share this real quickly. Is that we do have, if you have not been to a tech event, that might be an opportunity for you. By the way, we have a segment we called the Tech Wire that I just wanted to share with you real quickly. Tech Wire is basically where you basically, if you want to go and find out different tech events that are occurring, you could go to securethebadge.com. Again, secure the badge, and you can find out more. You don't have to go right this second, but check out securethebadge.com for more. They have different events there as well. They also have a company, they also have a community, I should say, that if you join that community, it actually pays you basically to be a part of it. What I mean by that is when you join the community, there's various different tech events that are occurring where they're giving out free tickets. They gave out tickets to South by Southwest, which has a tech component to it. There's also Invest Fest, a few other things that are going on in August. Actually, August is pretty packed that you could definitely check out. They also have some things in July, Chicago Tech Week, Black Tech Week, a few other things as well that you could check out for yourself there. And it's a great opportunity to network. If you're looking for work, it's a great opportunity to share with others. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat as well for you so you have it. But also, if you want to join that community, they literally give out free tech tickets almost actually every week. So you have to sign up for it. They also give you speaking opportunities as well. So they give you like a form that if you want to fill out so that you could speak at a tech event, there is that option as well. So I just dropped the link for you below. If you're interested in some tech event tickets and others, you have to join the community. There is a fee to join the community, But like I mentioned, it pays for itself. Some of these tickets easily are $1,000. So the fact that you're getting it for free, if you sign up, is a dope experience in itself. Plus, you get to network with other professionals in the group, and you'll be able to also share different things. And that networking is powerful. If you have not if you don't have a LinkedIn, get that LinkedIn, get yourself going. But that is a very powerful thing. So go ahead and check it out for yourself. Again, that's securethebadge.com, securethebadge.com for more. Wanted to just share that before we go into our next segment, because we'll be talking about something that really affects you. If you are a homeowner and you were not familiar with this, I saw this pop up again on my feed. So that means people are really kind of looking into this. And it's about NVIDIA basically paying you to have a mini data center. I'm going to pass it over to Trey to share a little bit more about this, but this is something that if you are a homeowner, you could probably benefit from. But is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the juice worth the squeeze? And I'm going to pass it to Trey to share more.
No, snap. That's crazy. I didn't realize it.
Uh,
but no, it's all good. So check this out, y'all. Just like Joseph said. Okay, imagine somebody comes up, they knock on your door. Y'all have seen them, right? You probably got the sign up saying, no, nobody come and trespass, right? But imagine they come up, knock on your door, and they say, hey, we'd like to put an AI server on the side of your house. And in return, we're going to cover your electricity bill. All right. Well, we're going to cover it for you. We're going to pay for your internet. Okay. And really, all we're doing is just installing a smart electrical panel, and we're going to send you about $150 every month. That don't sound like something that actually would happen, but it's already happening. Okay. So here's what's going on. NVIDIA, they partnered with Span and home builder Plute Group to test a new type of AI infrastructure called XFRA. Now, instead of building one massive data center in general, they want thousands of small AI servers spread out across neighborhoods. So each home now becomes one tiny piece of a much larger computing network. So think of it like Airbnb. Instead of like one giant hotel, right? You have all these thousands of homes that are able to provide capacity. Now, how Span works, Span, they install a smart electrical panel that monitors your home's power usage. Now, most homes, they leave a large amount of electrical capacity unused throughout the day, right? You're not there. You turn everything off, all your lights off, everything's off. Well, Span says residential electrical systems are underutilized for about as much as 58%. So you could be getting paid for that almost 60%. That's what they're saying. So that unused capacity powers a small liquid cooled AI server that's mounted on the outside of your house. And that hardware, it is going to include 16 NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs, big dog, 4 AMD EPYC processors, and around 3 to 4 terabytes of RAM. And this is not a gaming PC, okay, for sure. This is enterprise AI hardware. Now, companies, they rent that computing power for these distributed servers, just like they rent capacity from AWS, Amazon Web Services today. Now, why is NVIDIA doing this? Okay. Building traditional AI data centers is becoming difficult, right? A typical facility can cost around $15 million per megawatt. And construction, it definitely takes a time, it takes around 3 to 5 years. So companies are facing, either power shortages, local opposition, expensive land, long permit delays, people, right? People don't want them, picket sticks out there in front. So distributed infrastructure is going to change the equation around this. So instead of waiting years, NVIDIA can begin deploying capacity as new homes are built, which, they're being built all the time. The XFRA model estimates roughly $3 million per megawatt, and about one fifth
Jeez.
the cost. Yeah, that's about one fifth the cost of the traditional construction. And then deployment is now in months instead of years. So a network of approximately 8,000 homes could deliver computing capacity similar to a 100 megawatt data center. And remember, y'all, a typical data center is around 15 million per megawatt. So 100 times 15, or sorry, 15 million times 100 megawatts. It's an interesting number right there. So that's enough computing power to support major AI workloads. Now, here's the thing. Everybody's asking, okay, would you let NVIDIA put a server on your house? And I personally think that's the wrong question. The real question is what happens when neighborhoods become critical infrastructure, right? Right? So your home is suddenly becomes a part of the cloud, the electric grid, national AI infrastructure. It should change how we think about housing. Now, today, your home has become an asset in a few different ways. You got solar panels that produce electricity, if you have those, Tesla power walls store electricity, and now AI hardware can produce computing power. Your house is slowly becoming an income producing technology platform. If you think about it, right? If you think about it, it's what it is. And homes may eventually generate three products. You got shelter, obviously, that's number one. But then now you also have energy and compute. That's a new economic model instead of just, a home. So I don't know. Obviously, there are some risks here, right? The idea also creates these unasked answered questions. Who pays if hardware fails?
Mm,
Um, who covers higher insurance premiums if that happens? What happens if your neighborhood loses power? Could hackers target residential AI nodes? Could home values increase? Right? Does it go up because you have these on, or does it decrease? You
mm-hmm.
know. So I don't know if people know AI servers are mounted on the outside of the wall. What does that do to the thought process around buying the home from you and all of these things? So I don't know. None of these questions have clear answers yet. But this is good. This is good. For the past decade, cloud computing lived inside giant buildings. The next decade may spread cloud computing into our neighborhoods. So instead of building bigger data centers, which some people like, some people hate, companies may build smarter networks. Infrastructure is becoming distributed. AI is becoming local. So homes are becoming a part of the internet itself. So I don't know, y'all. Bottom line, we might have to start rethinking what a house is. Right? Yesterday,
Yeah.
homes consumed electricity. Tomorrow, homes may sell it. Right?
Mm.
I don't know. So I don't know.
That kind of
And
reminds.
rent out computing power at the same time.
Yeah, kind of reminds me about when solar was really big, especially like during like right before the pandemic, during the pandemic. I think this, people are still probably installing solar, but definitely not as I see a huge rush like it used to be. And they used the whole pitch was, hey, you could sell the excess back to the grid, right? You could be
Yeah,
your like
yeah, yeah.
your own thing. And so when I see this, I'm like, a lot of those questions did come up with homeowners, like, what is the resale value of my house now that I have solar? Like, what does that look like? And the reason why I wanted to talk about this again, because I think we mentioned it in the past, was I kept seeing these memes where it's saying, get paid 22,000 something dollars to have a data center. I'm like, is that really what are they really paying people that? And then I did research. It's like, no, we'll cover your utilities about $150 per month off of your bills, which depending on who the person is, that might be everything, or that might be a drop in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on, especially in the hot summer months when you're using your AC and other things. And so I was just curious if people would actually consider doing this as an option. The way that they look, if you haven't seen them, they look like almost like a centralized HVAC system. Like, you know how the people have it outside the house, where it literally is like they have central air and everything from this. From
Mm-hmm.
this, it looks something similar to that, the way it's designed. But knowing that people might kind of realize how important that would be to Nvidia or somebody else, would people actually go and try to steal it or late in the night? Like there's a lot of things going on.
Hey man,
And
if you
so
live in this neighborhood, you can't get one. I'm sorry.
they might, yeah, they might be like, listen, yeah, they might be like certain areas are red lined. Is that the right word? Where
Yeah,
it's like, listen,
yeah.
you can't do it here. And then what are insurance companies going to say if it does make homes a target? Your premium's going to go up. Be like, listen, we don't have insurance for that. You have to get another insurance for it. And so there's a lot of questions that I'm even curious to find out more about it. I just know that when I saw that $22,000, I'm like, is that a
What's
lump sum
this?
or
Right, right,
is
right,
that
right,
over a
right.
period of time? And then I found out it was basically this 150, 150 per month for your bill. So to be honest with you, I'm not sure the juice is worth the squeeze. Um, Definitely got to figure that part out. Oh, we got Tech Coach Ralph in the building. What up,
What
y'all?
up?
What
What
up,
up?
y'all?
What
Well,
up?
if y'all, I want to say thank you again. I said it earlier in the show, but now that you're here, I want to say it publicly again. Thank you so much for holding it down while I was in a different time zone. Definitely, I appreciate you rocking with us and having the conversations. And would you take Coach Ralph? Would you shake hands with Jensen and say, "Listen, sign me up. I'll have a data center in my home, $150 per month, knock off my bill. Why not?" I feel like I want more. If I'm a little greedy,
I
but
know.
I
No,
feel like
that.
that should. I feel like I should get a little more than just my utilities covered for 150,
Yeah,
maybe 300. But yeah,
yeah. I'm with you, OTTO. I don't know.
what about
I don't know how
OTTO?
many. I don't know how many HOAs are going to actually, make it happen.
Yeah, man, I even allow it.
I don't know. It might be like, nah, not about to mess up our stuff. We you know, we already make sure that people's grass stays 1.5 inches high. And
Hmm.
we're having keeping their cars off the side of the road. Now we gotta figure out about this box. Nah.
Yeah, they definitely don't play. These HOAs do not play. And Chico Rouse Jensen is my spirit CEO. Forget spirit animals. He's my spirit CEO.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like he's funny. He's like he don't play. But yeah, no, I think that Chico Rouse says we basically got a little data centers in our house with all of our gadgets. So we're already doing it for free. Why
That's
not
for
get paid
sure.
a little something from it? Why not get paid a little something from it?
150, 150. It does it does seem a little low. Like I would
Yeah.
want to see the breakdown. Like, are we doing 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it, you know, 80-20? What is that breakdown there that they're
Yeah.
getting?
Yeah. I
Because it
mean,
seems pretty low.
yeah, even though we're kind of doing it for free now, I kind of want to see more. I'm not gonna lie, because when you consider the risk of the insurance, right? Also the home value. There might be a select group of people that are cool with having a data center, kind of similar to solar. How there's a group of people that'll be like, "Yeah, I'll take on your home with solar," but then there's a vast majority who'll be like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want no birds going underneath my solar panels and pooping and laying eggs and all sorts of things. If
Mm,
there's no, I don't want, rain to come and because of a leak, I gotta get that fixed and deal with this for that. Some people literally avoid that situation altogether, right? So the question is the liability, the effect on the home value, the effect on, um, your insurance. Now the privacy part, I didn't even talk about that. As we talk about very, very often on the show, what privacy?
yeah,
That
exactly.
privacy's been gone for a little bit of time, so I'm not really. I guess that's not the biggest concern, but and then how loud is it? Is it loud? I mean, has a fan there? Is it loud? Is it not too loud? So I have some questions about that I'll probably have to see later down the line how much people adopt this, and if so, what is the outcome? He said, okay. Deckles Ralph said something interesting. He said, if I had to negotiate if I could get 5 GB upload speed thrown in and let me use one of those GPUs when I stream.
Hey,
Like, listen,
hey, that's next
yeah,
level.
how it worked for me, buddy. Worked
That's
for
worth
me.
it.
Yeah, no, I think that'll be if there's some deals like that, especially for you know what that might be a bad idea for streamers, like for people that stream, like if they kind of work directly with, like if video works directly with them and say, hey, listen, we know that you stream, we're gonna help you out here, right?
Gonna partition off a
Um,
little bit for you.
we'll, we'll cover your fees for anything streaming wise. You give you allowance for certain gear. We'll give you a chip or two to help. In fact, we'll give you one of our computers to help with that as well. Like if they can sweeten the pot, that might be something. That might be something. And then a question from this is for anybody. Stephen Kelly says, "What profit do you think the public could get from the AI data? What profit? What profit?" Um, Appreciate you, Avocute. See you next week. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Ah,
Thank you so much. But I really appreciate that. Yeah. The question is, what profit do you think the public could get from the AI data? Well, a lot of, I mean, people are benefiting from it now. You know, people are leveraging it for all sorts of things. I'm not gonna say who the person is, but there's a person I know who I'm just gonna take a basic use case. They use ChatGPT like their personal friend, and they'll ask them stuff about like how can I do this better, like with um, chores, whatever, like little things, right? So that's just one use case, but obviously there's people who are using it to build out businesses and building out programs, and so there's so many different benefits that the public is using AI data for. Um, if you're not leveraging uh, GPTs, if you're not leveraging LLMs, whether it's Manus or other things like that, definitely look into it. Definitely look into it because
I
there's a lot of benefits.
I mean, and then also there's the other side of it, right. We talked about, or I brought out like, okay, if um like what happens if your value goes down on the home, or all, like all of that stuff. But there is also the other side, right? Like, what if AI compute explodes and now that $150 a month turns into 300 or $500 per month because you were one of the only ones in the area to get it done. Um, now that becomes a different, $1,000 a month. That becomes a different type of stream there for you. Um, as well, so there is that side of it. It's risk in everything, right? It was risk when you opened your eyes up this morning
Yeah,
and put your feet outside of the bed, that it all becomes risky.
yeah,
So there is that side of it. um you know
yeah, yeah. And then we got Stephen Kelly also said the payments are given to corporations by government. So if the data function unit makes a gain, it's subsidized gain paid by new Fed money anyhow. The kinds of passing was used against lots and lots of small towns to put pressure on.
I believe it on them.
Yeah, on them. And then Techo Drop says, I always worry about missing the floor when I wake when
Hey,
I wake up.
it, like crazier things have happened, bro. I mean, people get, you just woke up, you put your feet on the ground, and then you try and take the first step, you hit your head on the frame for the bathroom. Now you land there. Like uh a whole lot of stuff can happen, but
Mhm.
it's pretty crazy. So you just never know. This is why you gotta be thankful when you wake up in the morning, because it's a lot of alarm clocks still going off right now.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And then Stephen Kelly said, it's like when
Oh
um,
yeah, frackers.
came and drilled every country, and then pressure inside of the basins collapsed early. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
It could be.
But yeah, the deeper question on what the gain the public could get from this. There's definitely a deeper question we could definitely drill into for sure. A happy Independence Day. Thank you, Take Coach Ralph. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah,
we
yeah.
forgot to mention it. Yeah, it's crazy because it came on a Saturday, which is so like throws everything off. But yeah, happy Independence Day. 250 years is a lot to celebrate as a country. So definitely appreciate that. We got NC Work in the building as well. Good
What up,
morning.
though?
Good morning, NC Worker. So glad for you to stop on by. Thank you so much. We it's been a while. It's been a while, so I appreciate you for sure. But yeah, no, that's definitely a good question. I want to go back to what Stephen Kelly shared here in regards to like what the profit. Obviously they're saying this $150 subsidies. Like it's definitely just an incentive for people to house these AI data centers in their home. That's what I look at it. But the true money making comes from the B2B side of it.
And then we know, yeah, we also know like history does repeat itself. So we can't only think in the short term in the right now and not expand it out when we've already seen this stuff happen before. We've seen uh Airbnb, we've seen
Mm.
Turo, right? So now if you put those hats
Uber.
on and
Hmm.
you scroll out a few, decades, okay, hey, 20 years ago, people rented out bedrooms on Airbnb. 10 years ago, uh, people rented out their cars on Turo. Is the next wave renting out your home, all your home's unused electricity? Like, is that it to power the AI or artificial intelligence? So you have to be able to think further out than right now. Or yes, it's possible you would be one of the ones thinking, man, I had the opportunity to do that, and now I'm only getting $150 a month. But the people who did it when it first happened are getting 3,000 because they decided to do it and believe in the system when there was nothing to go off of. And who knows, maybe they'll have multiple tiers later on down the line. So yeah, the base plan is 150 to 300.
Yeah.
And when we have our performance plan, then we got premium max, and so but that, who knows what that looks like. Maybe that's this on the side of your house, and then premium max is take up a bigger side. But what am y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? Let me shut up.
Yeah, no, Tech Coach Ralph said, "Could you have your cousin? You could have your cousin live for free, or have Huang as your roommate with that AI data center in your
See,
backyard."
that's now you thinking.
Well, then also, remind me of that was a Black Mirror episode. I won't go too deep in it in case you didn't see it, but basically, a person, I'll just say this: someone was terminally ill, and they had a solution to keep them alive, but they had to pay them on a subscription basis for them to keep them alive. So I'll say that much. Check it out for yourself. But it kind of reminded me of that in the sense of like in that particular story, they started saying, okay, if you want this feature, you have to get the premium version of it, and they just kept upselling, upselling, upselling. Well, in this case, hopefully they'll be basically not upselling, but like giving you other options to make more money. I just thought that was
Yeah,
funny.
that is
Joseph
funny.
always thinks if we didn't see it at this point, he's ruining it for
I
us.
know,
But listen,
bro. Like,
I
just
mean,
tell us the whole thing. That, like, if you ain't
listen.
seen it yet, that's your fault. No, I'm joking, but yeah, that is true. I was thinking the same thing, bro. It make me
I'm
laugh.
just I'm just saying. Some people, I think one time I did that, and they're like, I didn't see it yet. I'm like, all right,
That's your
y'all.
fault.
It's been out for a couple
close,
years.
close your
Uh,
ears.
close
Like,
your ears to but yeah, check it out for yourself because I thought it was an interesting episode. He was because it was like a concept of like, hey, listen, you want the premium, 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 it's this price, and he's like, I'm trying to keep my wife alive. You tell me how to pay
yep.
the premium version so that she could actually walk and talk at the same time. Like it was just funny. But yeah, no, definitely check that out for yourself. And again, appreciate y'all for rocking with us. In fact, I'm going to start early by sharing those that commented. We have Avocutes in here. Alfie did comment as well, so thank you. We're going to shout you out. Tech Coach Ralph, you commented, so thank you so much. As well as OTTO, the veterans are here in the building. Thank you, Stephen, as well. Stephen Kelly Salik, 4042. And then NC Worker, thank you as well for going ahead and commenting on the show. We're gonna be wrapping up very soon with our brown box special here. And if you're not familiar with it, Brown Box Special is basically where we share stories of people that either quit their job, got fired, or unfortunately let go. And this is just a communal point where we kind of share something that we've all kind of experienced, right? One way, shape, or form. Um, I said, I said veteran, right? A veteran member of the show. If y'all are listening on the podcast, that Coach Ralph said if I called OTTO old. Not at all, not at all. Oh my god, yeah, you still young on my channel, OTTO. That's hilarious. You're still young. All right, well, let's get to the Brown Box Special, man. The question is: anyone go from a toxic workplace to a healthy one? How do you cope with the shock and broken self-esteem? It's safe and people are nice and collaborative. Like, what does it look like? Because this person basically shared this story. Said I was in a very toxic environment with very toxic personalities for 13 years. 13 years is a long time. I was so broken. My life had fallen apart. I became a heavy drinker and I didn't have the steam to go somewhere else. I felt stuck. I looked like crap. How was I even going to sit through an interview so unkept and feral? I put on 80 pounds. Jeez, what kind of work environment was that? At my lowest, a job opportunity opened that I really wanted. I applied and got it. And and then at the time they said I'll start. I was so scared and brought fear to me, but I have most definitely improved in every way in about a year. I think I said I thank the universe every morning when I scan my ID and go to my cubicle. I'm so happy. I got out. I survived. I'm free. I have zero of the issues that I had the past 13 years. It's a pleasure to do work and to be in an environment where people actually like you. My mindset has done a complete 180. It is possible. I truly believe the universe will conspire with you. Um, and sometimes it takes a while for the universe to catch up with your dreams. If you need a sign to keep going, this is it. No matter how hard it is, keep a spot thriving in your heart for what you desire. So basically, the person was like, listen, um, I was that person. I was in a situation where I was in a very toxic work environment for 13 years. I don't know if I could have done 13 years. That's a long time.
Exactly.
But they did 13 years, gained 80 pounds, all sorts of stuff. They left. They were fearful of leaving, but they left and they were in a place where they're now thriving. And so the question that the original person, and this by the way, credit to Reddit, by the way, if you're not familiar, um, said, is there a possibility from going from a toxic work environment to a healthy one? Question, the answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes.
It was
Um,
always yes.
there's always yes. And the fact that he took 13 years to figure that out, well, let's just say fear did have a hold on you, but thankfully that's not the case anymore.
It's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, 3 months, but in some cases, but 13 years. God bless you.
13
But yeah,
years. Yeah, 13 years, bro. That, I mean, fear, what is it? What do they say? False evidence appearing real. Like at the end of the day, they for sure, it was all in their head. And
yeah,
like, you got to believe in yourself before anybody else will. And
yeah,
so, I mean, ultimately, it ended up being them. Like, yeah, I don't know. 13 years is a crazy amount of time um, to be somewhere that's like that. Especially now, you got to also take some accountability on the 80-pound part. Like, they're not, is a part of it. Could it be? Yes. But, it's not, the job wasn't making you put that on. Maybe it was the stress from the job that was adding something on. But, there are things that we could do about that. So, you know, it looks like as soon as they took some accountability, then boom, stuff started moving in a different direction. But also, that was 13 years is a long time
yeah. It's a
to
very
not
long
be
time.
happy.
I mean, that's a 13-year-old teenager at that point. You could have
Yeah,
a whole
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
a whole kid. Tech Coach Ralph said, "Would you rather a toxic workplace or toxic relationship?" I would say neither,
Neither,
but I
but I
guess
would take the workplace if I had to.
yeah, it's either jump from one workplace to another. He said you could probably Make a lot of money in a toxic workplace, while a toxic relationship can cost you everything.
100%.
Um,
And also, you can leave that workplace. Like,
yeah,
I don't, I'm not going home thinking about it if I don't have to. So, yeah, I can shut it off, you know. But yeah, if you're in a relationship, it's there. When you wake
just
up in the morning, it's there.
staring right at you, bad breath and
Yeah,
all. It's like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't want to deal with this. But it's definitely there, definitely there. Oh man. So listen, y'all, that is it for this episode of Talk That Tech. We appreciate you for rocking with us. Definitely love to hear from you, and thank you for everybody that shared and gave their thoughts. Wake up wishing you missed the floor.
100%.
Tech Coach Ralph said, waking up and wishing you missed the floor,
Crazy,
man.
crazy callback, Tech Coach Ralph. Crazy callback. Love
Yeah,
it.
man. Oh, but we appreciate it as always. Again, thank you for rocking out with us on this episode of Talk That Tech. The
Number one tech morning show in the world. We'll see y'all next week, baby.
yes, peace.